Well, it's now about the middle of July coming up here, and we'll do a little update on the farm as it is at 2017, July 11th. Starting with the popcorn here. Oh, maybe also starting with the fact that we've got a name for the farm now called LifeGiving Farm. I also thought about just calling ourselves the Farming Fools because we do everything the hard way. Hand tools, no chemicals, not much help out here. Just 2 or 3 of us doing most of the work. But we did get a little help from some good student friends that came out earlier this summer. That was real nice. Yeah. So this is popcorn. And we've always planted our corn in the 3 sisters method. Corn, squash, and beans together. Sometimes 4 sisters when something else pops up unexpectedly. And so we do it different ways, sometimes in circles, and sometimes, like this year, in bunches and lines. So we've got bunches of 4 corn stalks together. And instead of the beans going around them in the circle this time, we have them kind of meandering around them, as you see in these lines. And then the squash in little plots here or there. I'll show you when we get to one. There's some beans, and eventually the beans will start heading up the corn stalks. You always have to wait till the corn's about at least a foot high, 1.5 feet before you plant your beans around it, so they'll have somewhere to go when they're ready to climb. Okay. Well, here's a little squash off to the side here. Can't remember what kind this one is. Maybe delicata. That's our favorite. Could be a volunteer pumpkin. No, I think she planted it right there next to the stake. And first time we did this, we had our squash going in the circle around the beans that circled the corn mounds, and then we found out you can't get to the corn with surrounded by squash, so we put it off to the side a little, and here and there, not everywhere. There's, as you see, beans, and there's another couple of squashes coming up there. And another one over there. And some more back there. And over there. Looking good. Kind of gives you an idea. And these ones down on this end, at least the corn, is having these 5 bunches or so are having a hard time. We'll have to put more bison manure and compost in the soil down here next year. I thought I had about the same everywhere, but this particular end of the plot, as you can see in comparison, they're just not as vital as the other plants are vibrant. I don't know what to say there. Okay, but you can see. We'll have to help these guys out, probably with more water. You also see next to them and all around our place what my Cheyenne friend Linwood Tallbull calls woman sage. It came up here on our place about 4 or 5 years ago. We started seeing them pop up, and now they're everywhere. And we as we do with the other native plants, like the mullein you saw down there, we just let them live with our other plants, and you know, they're not our enemies. You don't have to destroy everything that you didn't plant in order for your cultivated plants to grow. Companion planting is very natural, biodiversity is very healthy, and respect for all life is one of the most important things. Well, picking up where I left off yesterday, when I got a message that the card is full on the camera. Took me a while to figure that one out. And so now I got that fixed. And we'll take a look at these beans after I look at my crazy new puppy, Max. There he goes. Okay. So there's the beans. We've got different kinds of beans. I don't know all their names. One's cranberry something. It's got some cranberry color to it. And another one that's cranberry with white speckles, and white beans and brown beans. All kinds of beans. And you see the kind of wildland interface around this patch of beans, again, to keep the biological ecosystem balance with the bioorganisms and critters in the wild that are beneficial to the growing of plants. They also, having these mullein and other so-called weeds or plants growing, holds the moisture in the ground. In the mowed off areas like the trail here, the ground gets really dry. So all our trails in the middle of the summer, you can feel the grasses and leaves crunching under your feet. They're so dry, but the areas that are left unmowed have a nice moisture content, and it's good for the soil all around it, you know. And like I said, a place for the garter snakes to go and hide from predators like my dogs and cats. Sometimes I try to train them to leave the snakes alone, but it's not always easy to train an animal. So there you go. Lots of beans. Different kinds. And we have other patches of beans. Of course, everything could use a little weeding. That's just the nature of organic gardening. So now we'll go over here and look at the blue corn. This year we made cardboard mulching paths between the rows, and that seems to be holding the weeds back a bit and holds moisture in. Made little holes in the cardboard where that puddled up, and so the water gets through. And then there's cracks between the cardboard and the ground, and so the water gets through, but you keep the weeds down. And sometimes we held down the cardboard with rocks, and then you can see over here holding it down with the stalks of last year's corn broken up, and maybe a few rocks holding down that cardboard in that row. Next row is, as you can see, mostly rocks holding down the cardboard. And so on. Added a lot of bison manure to the soil this year, so we're expecting a good blue corn crop. And then some more wild area interface. Oh, this pole lying down on the ground on a stand is what we put our sprinkler on when the corn gets tall, so it'll hit all the corn. So yeah, we sprinkle the water from the irrigation canal. So our watering system is the type that imitates rain, because we have enough water for that. I understand other people can't do that, and that's okay. You know, you might want to try your drip lines and all of that. There's lots of ways to water, but our technique is dropping water from above. Kind of doing a close-up of this mullein flowering mullein. Yeah, starting to flower. Over here we had a willow come up in the path, and I'll let it stay there and keep it small. I'll trim it, but it provides a little shade, which is nice. For this, the red corn, and the red corn was full of weeds like those beans were, and we've weeded it now, and I'm in the process of putting the cardboard down. You can get cardboard at furniture stores in towns, and they just want to get rid of it. They have lots of cardboard and give it to us gladly. And you know, I stopped gathering rocks, even though there's a lot of rocks around to hold it down. As you see, there's the rocks, and now I'm using the stakes that I make out of the branches of trees that I prune, and staking down the cardboard. Here's a stake. Here's another one. So yeah, that seems to be working. Sit around, do a little wood carving on the branches, and then stake them down. Here's a stake. How about that? Red corn makes real nice flour, just like the blue corn does. Looking forward to that again. Hey Max, what do you got? And there's Foo, big brother to little Max. There's what's left of our giant pile of cardboard. Might have to go get some more pretty soon. Squash on the side. Wild area. More beans. Another couple of beds of beans. Ready to be weeded again. And then peppers. We have a few different kinds of peppers. They're just starting to come out of from flower stage to actual fruit. New peppers. Let's zoom in on that one. Here's a little pepper coming up. Pepper flowers. I can't see. Oh, okay, there it is. And you can see the difference between weeded and unweeded over here. Boy, we got to get on that one. There's the peppers, you know, they just grow right with the weeds. But, you know, there's a lot of competition. And they're doing fine. They get shade from the weeds too, so their ground stays moisture for a while. But yeah, they're crowded. We're gonna have to give them some space. There's that other variety of pepper with the dark leaves. What do they call it? Is that the jalapenos? I don't know. And that's where the garlic was, till we just harvested our biggest crop of garlic ever, which I'm about to go clean and prepare for the market today. Okay, we'll look at the rest of everything later. That's enough for now.